Hey guys, Jamie here again. This is going to be part 9 of the buggy updates, and here it is. So this is a 650 Suzuki. It's very old, so it's kind of bulky compared to the newer ones. So a little bit bigger looking. Gauges, ignition, everything is here for it. Throttle down here. All the wiring, it needs a top end rebuild. It'll crank over, but it won't start. Absolutely everything except for the gas tank is there to make it run. So what I'm going to do is cut all this frame away from it. So I've got just basically the engine. So I've got the engine mostly freed from the frame. I left down a little bit of the frame on the bottom there. I'll probably trim down this rail a little bit still. Okay guys, slight change of plans here. The engine is, well, obviously it's pretty heavy. I can't quite lift it by myself up this high. I tried to put it in the back through here, but it's too wide to fit past these bars here. And then I think it's probably just too tall as well. So yeah, I can't really get it. It's got to go through the top here, and I might have to pull a seat out, but in order to do, I'm going to have to get someone to help me lift it, or use the engine hoist. And the engine hoist is behind that car in the shop. Hey guys, so we're back at the issue of the rear brakes here. And I was thinking about something. I do, in fact, when I bought the rear end, I got both calipers. As you can see, it's pretty rusty, but the pads in there are probably about 80%. And I can tell that it had been all done not that long ago. So it just needs a good wire brushing and then maybe a coat of paint, and these are actually fine. I've got both of them. But the problem is with these wheels being smaller rims, I doubt that they'll actually fit on there. I'm going to see if they'll fit, and if they don't fit with these rims on, I've got another idea. So I'll show you guys more. I installed the caliper, and I put 2 lug nuts on tight so the rim is sitting where it's supposed to. And I am completely shocked. The caliper installed properly, everything how it's supposed to be, does not touch the rim at all. It completely fits with this small rim on here. And it turns, the pads are grabbing the disc brake a little bit because it needs to be set up properly. And it needs to be serviced. But I thought for sure I was going to have to add this 1.5 inch spacer, and then hopefully maybe it would clear it, but it clears just fine on its own. So that's quite a nice surprise. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect the pedal from the e-brake, and we're just going to use the e-brake as an e-brake. Okay, so we have got the rear calipers on. The line's just kind of dummied on right now. But anyway, so in another video we completely serviced the calipers and threw a quick coat of paint on them. And the paint will look good from a distance. That's about it. The rotors need to be serviced next to get rid of that rust layer, but that's not a big deal. So we're kind of looking at this, and I ordered a master cylinder, like a universal one for buggies and stuff like this. So anyways, we've got the line here, and it's not hooked up to anything, of course, just loose here. We got one on both sides. So anyways, while it's jacked up off the ground, we got the suspension fully unloaded, and so it's as low as it's going to go. The calipers are as low as they're going to go. So it's kind of like a nice time to see where to put these. So they're going to have to be run through the inside here, but it's tough to say just yet. Like, I mean, I could also have them on the outside here, where they just kind of slip in through the inside here somewhere, and go along to the front. So unfortunately, they are only so long that what I'm going to have to do is put the master cylinder somewhere like right here, and then design like a push rod sort of system, and I'll remove all this stuff from the pedal and clean it up. Alright guys, so I just cut the piece out of here, and it was this piece right here, Now all it is just a it's basically a half cut of a piece of pipe here. So, and it just was welded right in here and just sat here to kind of hold this like in a little indentation. So I cut it lower than what it was and whatnot, and that is how I want it. Now I'm going to take a bigger piece of pipe and do the same exact thing as what that was, but just put it in lower. So this will sit like basically in the bottom of that, and then when I weld it all in, this pipe has still got lots of strength. So I've just burned in this piece of pipe. It's not all the way around, it's just top here, and the welds aren't the best. So it's all in there, it's all ground down. I have to add some paint to it. The steering wheel is able to sit a lot lower now. It's not sitting where it's supposed to right now, because it's not, there's no bracket holding it, but it's able to be a lot more adjustable now. So next I'll have to decide where I'm going to put in a new bracket. I'll have to sit down here and see where it's going to feel right, and then fabricate all that up. And then as soon as that's done, then I can start on the hood. And then as soon as the hood is done, then I'll have the time to put in the brake booster and set up the brake. Alright, so we kind of jumped ahead a little bit here. So we've got these two bars in right here now, and it's not completely burnt in. I got to clean it up a little bit more. So the steering column is up, still too high. I got to make a bracket off of this to drop it, but now I actually can because I've changed that. So anyways, the next step here is going to be to build the little hood, and it's going to go off the top one here. And it's going to be this really light stuff because it doesn't need to be like structurally good. So it'll be like, I mean, any structure will be fine for this, but it's going to be kind of like this and come down to the bottom there. I got to trim it a little bit. The top bar will be this fat stuff again, this wider stuff, and it's almost going to be like kind of like a somewhat of a triangle shape, but not quite. There's going to be another piece of the fat bar, link it up down here, going across. And then it's going to be, like if you imagine it all together, it's going to be on a hinge up top, and it'll be able to lift up like this, so that I can still have access to this compartment here. So in preparation for the hinges, I could make hinges, but it's like, I mean, usually when I make them they're kind of bulky, and I don't know, they work, but they're not the best. So I'm going to cheat a little bit here, and I've gone to Walmart and got door hinges. I got two of these. They're probably 16th inch thick steel, and it's kind of funny because they got these holes drilled here so you can screw them into the wall. And I'm going to use those as to plug weld it, and I think it's going to work pretty good. So I'll have one here and one here, and you'll just see the top part, and it'll make it so it can go up and down perfectly. That's the idea anyways, so we'll see how well it works. And then once that is done, then I'm going to mount the brake reservoir and put all the lines in, get it all situated where it needs to be, and then as soon as that's done, then we'll start hooking up to the pedal, and once that's done, then put fluid in it and get it working. Alright, so we got the basics of it done here. So it's on a hinge, two hinges actually. Lifts up, down, super easy, and it's super lightweight, so we're not adding a bunch of weight to it. Could literally pick this whole piece up with my pinky. So next I gotta cut the inside here so it'll slip basically over this, and then it'll be much lower down. And then I clean up all these welds, throw some paint on it so it doesn't rust, and I gotta clean up a bunch of other stuff, get rid of these bits here that are still on there. And then it needs to be sheet metaled. I'm still not entirely sure how I'm going to do it other than completely cover the center with sheet metal. I'm thinking I might have some come down the sides. I'm not sure just yet. I gotta find some sheet metal still. So anyways, I'm gonna make that little part there so that it can go in there, and then I'm gonna get onto the brake master cylinder. Alright, so I've got the calipers on, the lines on. They're just loosely on there, they don't need to be tight right now, so you're gonna come back off. Anyways, the lines come right up to here. They need to go to the back side of the reservoir, so it's looking like I can put the reservoir like right here, and the hood will clear it. It'll be protected by that, and it looks like it's a pretty good spot for it right here. And then the push rods, whatever you want to call them, I can center them with the pedal here, and that should make it easy to set up something with the pedal. So I think I'll grab some metal and make a small bracket for this to mount right here. Alright, so I just quickly made this bracket here. This will hold the master cylinder. Put it right there, and then I just bolt it up to it once I burn this in with some weld. Alright, so I made the bracket and welded it in there. Then I made a linkage here, pretty simple linkage, and it's fully adjustable here. It's probably going to get changed later on to try to clean it up a little bit more. This is only in here, just kind of loose, but I push the pedal, and if I can get that to sit down. So that works. I'm going to use I took the side panel off so I can work on it easier. So I got my lines here. I haven't hooked them up to it yet, but I'm only going to use 2 of these. So I took one of the old banjo fittings and welded it shut, so it's like plugged on the end there where it would have gone to a line, and then I'll just put it on and it'll be a real simple plug. And then using the sensor, of course, too. So I would hook up the lines and fill it full of fluid, but I found that this one leaks, and so I gotta rebuild the caliper. So I'm gonna disassemble that one and rebuild it, and then I'll put it back on, and then hook up all the lines and get it all working. Hey guys, so I'm gonna do some more work on it. I had both the calipers on, everything all hooked up. As you can see, the master cylinder is on here right now, and I went to go and loosen the bleeders, and the one snapped off, and the other one started to twist like it was just going to snap off as well. So I ended up doing what I didn't want to have to do, and because I wasn't sure if I should drill it out and try to tap it or what to do with that, so I took it to the old timer buddy, and few bucks later, and he had it all done, and now it's got new bleeders in it and should be 100%. And while I was waiting for that, the Sparco quick release showed up in the mail here. So I've got that right here. So that's pretty nice looking. So I think what I'm going to do first is install this, and then I'll show you guys some more. The quick release is all installed on it, so I'll show you guys. And the steering wheel's off. Pretty simple. Goes back on just as easy. And it's back on. So I had to do a couple of little modifications to it, but nothing major, and it seems to work good. So that's good. Now I can bring this back inside, and I can start cleaning this thing up properly so it looks proper, because it's got all this white stuff on it. I think somebody tried to wax it before or something like that, but see if I can get that all cleaned up. Next I'm going to put the calipers on. I also gotta lower the steering wheel, and it's got a little bit of looseness in here. I gotta figure out what to do about that. So I'll show you guys more later. Alright, so that's probably going to end it for this video. I'll show you guys what we've done. So got the back wheels on again, which you guys probably never even saw me take them off. Anyways, the calipers are on, lines are all hooked up. I'm gonna have to wait till I've got somebody else over here to help me bleed it. There is fluid in there, but yeah, I need somebody to push the pedal while I open it, and you guys know how it goes. I also fiddle around with some more bolts and washers and lowered the steering column. So now the steering column fits in there nice, and it's not outside of the roll cage. Before it was like always like an inch you could see sticking up and out. So now it's not. It's sitting down properly right in here. The hood here, I'm still not sure if I'm going to keep it. It's like, I mean, it's to protect all this stuff. I'm going to try it. And the next thing that I got to get for it is a sheet of plastic to cover it inside here. And I'll probably put gussets on the inside so that I can bolt it to. I don't want to use more of this because it just adds so much weight. And I'm actually probably going to do without these and put in a tube piece. I think it was a custom Sidewinder was saying to do like a tubing piece, and I like the idea. The only thing that I put this in there for was so that mud and rocks wouldn't get thrown at me, as well as to keep me inside if it were like to roll over or get rough or something. So yeah, the steering wheel, if I can do it one-handed, I might do it with two hands, but there we go. I'm going to take this inside now, and then I can clean it up, get it all this black stuff off of it, and try to just wash the this stuff off, because right now it's raining, and if I get it wet it goes completely black again, so I think it's just wax. So maybe I can just scrub it all off. Yeah, so hope you guys are enjoying the videos, and as soon as I get more parts and somebody help me bleed the brakes, then we'll be filming more. I am looking at a engine for it, a Yamaha R1 fuel injected, and might be picking that up to put in it. So we'll see. And yeah, if you guys got any more recommendations on things to do, just let me know. I'd like to hear from you guys. And one other thing is, while I'm building this buggy, this is Zeus. He's always helping me everywhere, and he's not very camera friendly, but he is constantly meowing at me and everything else, and following me around everywhere. The main thing I gotta watch when I'm grinding or welding is that he is not in the path, because he will stand there and get hit if I let him. He's my little buddy for working on these projects. Alright, I'll see you guys.